All right, everybody, this Sunday, February 8th, because we need to talk about the next 10 days across the United States. And I am telling you right now, this stretch of weather is going to be one for the books. What is unfolding between now and February 17th is a 3-act drama that involves life-threatening Arctic cold, a historic temperature reversal, and then a developing storm pattern that both the European and GFS models are flagging with increasing confidence. The polar vortex has been stretched, compressed, and split apart by a stratospheric warming event, and it has been funneling lobe after lobe of Arctic air directly into the eastern half of the country for nearly 3 weeks straight. But the pattern is about to snap. Within days, we go from 40 below zero wind chills in the northeast to 70s across the plains and southeast. And when the atmosphere swings that violently in the middle of February, it does not just quietly settle back into place. It fights back. That is where the storms come in. So let me walk you through everything, city by city, region by region. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. Right now, the Arctic Siege. Today is the coldest morning of the entire outbreak for the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. The Weather Prediction Center confirmed yesterday that a dangerous Arctic air mass will persist through Sunday, with temperatures running 20 to 30 degrees below normal. Record low maximum temperatures and record low minimums are possible today, especially across the Mid-Atlantic. Roughly 50 cold records could fall this weekend alone. Here is where temperatures stand right now by region. Northeast, Boston is in the low teens with wind chills to -25. An extreme cold warning is in effect across Massachusetts and Rhode Island with interior wind chills as low as -30. New York City has not hit freezing on 9 of 12 days this month, barely touching the upper teens today with wind chills near -15. At least 17 cold-related deaths have occurred in the city since January 19th. Philadelphia sits around 17. Buffalo is in the low teens under fresh snow. Upstate New York and northern Vermont are the coldest spots in the nation, with wind chills hitting -40. Mid-Atlantic, Washington, D.C. and Baltimore top out around 18 to 20, 25 to 30 degrees below normal with potential record lows. Richmond is in the low 20s, Pittsburgh locked in the mid-teens. Midwest and Ohio Valley, Chicago in the low teens, Detroit and Cleveland mid-teens, Columbus and Indianapolis around 20. But Minneapolis is already warming, previewing what is about to invade the entire East. Southeast, Atlanta, mid-30s, Charlotte around 30, Nashville mid-20s, Birmingham near 40, Jacksonville mid-40s, Tampa and Orlando in the upper 40s, unusually cold for central Florida. Snowfall already on the ground. The Clipper system that ripped through Friday and Saturday dumped impressive totals across the mountains. Western North Carolina along the Tennessee state line picked up 8 to 12 inches with isolated pockets near 16 inches in Swain, Haywood, Madison, Mitchell, and Avery counties. Buffalo saw about 6 inches, Pittsburgh and Erie 3 to 6. The Ohio Valley from Columbus through Indianapolis received 2 to 5. West Virginia's Appalachian ridges exceeded a foot in spots. Southeast New England picked up a few inches from convergent snow bands Saturday evening. The Great Thaw, February 9th through 12th. Starting Monday the 9th, the Arctic grip begins to loosen from west to east. By Tuesday and Wednesday, a massive ridge builds across the central and eastern United States and warm air floods northward. The Climate Prediction Center has the vast majority of the lower 48 under the above normal category for the 6 to 10-day outlook, with much above normal conditions stretching from Texas to the Dakotas. Central Plains and Midwest. Des Moines could hit 70 on Monday with a normal high of 32. Omaha and Lincoln push into the mid-60s. Kansas City flirts with 70. Sioux Falls reaches the 60s. These could shatter records. Minneapolis surges into the 50s. Chicago warms into the upper 40s by midweek. Detroit and Cleveland follow into the mid-40s. Indianapolis and Columbus reach the low 50s. South and Southeast. Dallas and Houston hit the mid to upper 70s with North Texas touching the low 80s. Oklahoma City and Tulsa reach the upper 60s. Atlanta climbs into the mid-60s. Nashville pushes past 65. Charlotte warms to the upper 50s. Birmingham approaches 70. Savannah and Charleston reach the low 70s. Jacksonville and Orlando push into the mid-70s. Southern Florida could see highs near 80. Northeast, the thaw is slower because the Arctic air is deeply entrenched. New York City and Philadelphia creep into the mid-40s by Wednesday. Boston reaches the upper 30s. Washington, D.C. gets into the low 50s. The Weather Prediction Center notes light snow possible across portions of the Northeast Tuesday night into Wednesday as northern stream energy moves through, with light to moderate rain from the Ohio Valley into the southeast. The West wakes up. The Pacific Northwest is turning stormier. A trough pushes through this weekend with Cascade snow levels dropping from 6,000 to 4,000 feet. By Tuesday, a stronger closed low moves into California, bringing significant mountain snow to the Sierra Nevada and rain to the lowlands. This feature has trended stronger, and the Weather Prediction Center has increased snowfall potential. The Sierra could see 1 to 2 feet. The northern Rockies pick up substantial snow from Idaho to Montana. The storm signals. February 13th through 17. As warm air surges east, the atmosphere loads with instability. A significant upper-level trough develops over the western United States and approaches the southern plains by late Friday. The Weather Prediction Center confirms another trough diving down the west coast late week, allowing for renewed moisture and expanding precipitation across the central and eastern states next weekend. The Storm Prediction Center's Day 4/8 outlook issued this morning notes surface low-pressure development ahead of the approaching trough, with Gulf moisture being pulled northward. Severe weather potential. February 13 through 15. The European model has been remarkably consistent in showing a potent low-pressure system forming near the lower Mississippi Valley Friday evening. The south side of this system, where warm Gulf air collides with cold air dropping in from the northwest, is where the severe weather threat lives. Southern Mississippi, Louisiana, southern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and southern Georgia are the areas I am watching most closely. Mobile, Pensacola, Biloxi, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Birmingham southward could see strong to severe thunderstorms with damaging winds and isolated tornado potential given the wind shear profile. Atlanta gets into storm activity as the low tracks east. Savannah and the Georgia coast sit in the warm sector and could see strong storms Friday night into Saturday morning. The Weather Prediction Center's Week 2 hazards outlook has already flagged a moderate risk of high winds for the central and southern high plains and parts of the western and central United States from February 15th through 17th, tied to Lee cyclogenesis as the amplified trough pushes through. Both the GFs and European ensembles feature an expansive surface low over the high plains by the 16th. Wintry mix and snow, February 13th through 17. On the cold side of the developing storm system, the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Mid-Atlantic are in play for snow and ice. Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis, and Columbus should all watch for accumulating snow as cold air wraps around the backside of the developing low. Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky are in the zone for a wintry mix. Ensembles show 20 to 30% probabilities for snowfall exceeding 4 inches across portions of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes during the Valentine's Day weekend period. The Northeast could see additional snow opportunities as the storm energy ejects eastward. Western Mountains, February 15th through 17. The Sierra Nevada faces a high risk of heavy snow as the amplified trough slams into California over the Valentine's Day weekend. 2 to 4 feet is possible in the higher passes. The Cascades are under a moderate risk for heavy snow. Coastal California and southwestern Oregon face heavy rainfall with over 40% chances for 3-day totals exceeding an inch. This is significant for drought relief and snowpack recovery across the West. Snowfall forecast by region, February 8th through 17th Northeast, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. 4 to 10 inches from combined events, including ongoing cold air snow bands and the midweek disturbance. Boston Metro, 2 to 4 inches. New York City, 1 to 3 inches from scattered light events. Buffalo and upstate New York, 6 to 12 inches with lake effect enhancement and system snow. Albany, 3 to 6 inches. Hartford and Providence, 2 to 4 inches. Mid-Atlantic, Philadelphia, 1 to 3 inches. Baltimore and Washington, D.C., 1 to 2 inches from the midweek system with more possible from the Valentine's Day storm. Pittsburgh, 3 to 6 inches. West Virginia mountains, 6 to 12 plus inches. Richmond and Virginia, 2 to 4 inches, with higher amounts if the late week low tracks favorably. Midwest and Great Lakes, Chicago, 2 to 5 inches. Detroit, 3 to 6 inches. Cleveland, 4 to 7 inches with lake enhancement. Minneapolis, 1 to 3 inches. Indianapolis and Columbus, 2 to 5 inches. Milwaukee, 2 to 4 inches. Southeast, western North Carolina mountains, already 8 to 12 on the ground with 1 to 3 additional inches possible from the midweek system. Charlotte, Atlanta, Nashville, Birmingham, primarily rain with marginal wintry mix only on the northern fringe of passing systems. Western mountains. Sierra Nevada, 2 to 4 feet from the Valentine's Day weekend storm. Cascades, 2 to 3 feet from multiple rounds. Northern Rockies, Idaho, and Montana, 1 to 2 feet. California lowlands, 1 to 3 inches of rain. Putting it all together. The story of February 8th through 17th is extremes colliding. Today we sit in one of the worst Arctic outbreaks in years while the West bakes under anomalous warmth. By midweek, warm air floods east and a stormier pattern takes hold in the West. Then, by the Valentine's Day weekend, the atmosphere corrects itself, bringing severe weather to the Gulf states, snow and ice across the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic, and feet of mountain snow out west. The polar vortex disruption is the engine behind it all, and until it stabilizes, expect this volatile pattern to continue. I will be on top of every model run. Stay safe today, enjoy the warmth when it arrives, and keep your eye on the sky heading into Valentine's Day weekend. We will talk soon.